Hello there, this is Janet Logan calling from Fusion Learning. Delighted to have you join this webinar this afternoon so that I can introduce you to world-class one-on-ones, our performance support tool. Excited to have you join us. There's a couple of familiar names on the call, which is great and makes me feel a little bit more comfortable as I run you through the next 30 minutes to introduce you to this PST on one-on-ones. Where I'd love to start is looking at what some of the challenges are for managers in leading one-on-ones, in leading engaging high-value one-on-ones. In fact, looking at some of the research, sales managers do hold one-on-ones. In fact, 96% of sales managers run and lead one-on-ones. However, sales managers struggle to balance preparation time and ensuring that they lead terrific world-class one-on-ones consistently. We've seen in our research, and those of you who have explored the one-on-one program in our practical sales management, is that often these poor structure will lead to inefficient meetings, and people don't walk out with clarity in terms of outcomes and actions. So how can we help create better one-on-ones? How can we create high-value one-on-ones in a consistent way and make it easy for the sales manager to prepare and lead world-class one-on-ones? So what we'd love to introduce you to is the performance support tool that helps you lead terrific world-class one-on-ones, and so not just effective but also saves you time. So what we're going to introduce you to is a simple tool that is very accessible to sales managers in the business community because it's based on Excel, and the goal is to transform the value and impact of one-on-ones in a fast and efficient and effective way. So the performance support tool that I'm introducing you to is under the guise of beyond the classroom. So a lot of you have experienced one-on-ones in the classroom. This is a performance support tool to help and embed the learning from one-on-ones in the classroom. It's to help sales managers plan their one-on-ones in a more efficient and effective way. The other element of the PST is to give you a structured approach. You are all familiar perhaps with the one-on-one template. We're reiterating the same template in a structured approach so that your one-on-ones continue to be prepared and performed in the same consistent structured approach. The great thing about this PST is that it requires no special software. I mentioned earlier that it runs on Excel, so there's no special software, and it contains a vast library of ideas and best practices to support you as a sales manager in leading great one-on-ones. Most importantly, we want to maintain what we've taught in the classroom is that one-on-ones, to be valuable, need to be a continuous ongoing dialogue, and this will help you plan and structure and house these one-on-one conversations and templates in a way that provides high value to your salespeople and also helps you as a manager in structuring and planning these one-on-ones. So let me perhaps introduce you to this performance support tool and give you a short guide and run through of the PST. I'm going to just move over to the Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to drive. So here's where I'd love to begin is I'm going to start by introducing the manager's name. So my name is Janet, so I'm going to start there. And I'm going to add my employees or my salespeople on my team. So let's say I have Aaron who is on my team, and I'm going to add David's name. So I have on my team, let's say, two salespeople, Aaron and David. This front page allows you to house and name your employee list or your salespeople. Within each of these individuals, you can go in and they'll have their own file. This page really allows you to add your employees or rename or remove. It houses each of your employee names. The other thing that I just want to point you to is that there is a blank one-on-one form. You're familiar with the one-on-one form from our programs, our classroom programs. You can print a blank one-on-one form for just an easy access template to use in an upcoming one-on-one. Let's go into Aaron's file now. This is Aaron's file, and within his file, we've got two categories. We have his one-on-ones where we will upload and house all of his one-on-ones that we will prepare, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And we also have a section here where we can upload any supporting documents. And uploading the supporting documents is done over here on the right-hand side. Let me just minimize the screen so everyone can see. This is the section where I might upload a series of different forms to add to the supporting documents section of Aaron's file. So, for example, if I want to upload perhaps one of Aaron's last performance review or Aaron's goals, this is a way for me to upload his goals. I add the date and I upload the form. Let me just stop there for a second. Uploading the form means I can have access to my computer anywhere on any drive and upload his goals wherever I've housed them. Those goals remain housed within this framework. So if you move that form or those goals somewhere else, they'll always be part of this in terms of supporting documents. If I upload Aaron's goals, they will show up here in supporting documents. And I could upload goals, I could upload his blueprint, his performance review, or any other documents that I want to include in Aaron's file. Over here, you've got the ability to rename and move forms, and of course, delete forms. Before I go into the one-on-ones, however, I just want to point you to this right-hand side of the screen because this is a reference guide or a toolbox for you to have access around what is a one-on-one. Give me an example of the Understanding Your People worksheet to help me prepare for one-on-ones. Give me a quick run-through and reference sheet on how to structure a great one-on-one. So all of these are reference tools or a library to refresh and remind the manager on how to lead great one-on-ones. The other thing is you've got an access to one of our videos. This is a video of Kevin Higgins, our president, who is presenting the one-on-ones and what it means to lead and execute great one-on-ones, again, as a resource tool, as a refresher. This is your front page, and as I said, this is Aaron's file. So let's get ready and create a new one-on-one for Aaron. What this will bring us to is a two-sided document. On the left side is where we're going to spend some time building Aaron's next one-on-one. And you'll see that as we build this support sheet, you will see that the elements that we create show up on the actual template that we will then either print or type right into. And I'll come to that in just a minute. So support sheet to prepare, the actual template that you will print to use as a platform for a dialogue. And then over here to the right is you've got some toggle buttons that allow you to save, close, cancel, clear, or print. And these are your guide buttons. So let's create a one-on-one for Aaron. You'll see that because we're already in Aaron's file, you have the team member who's Aaron, who shows up, and it's already pre-populated with my name as the manager. And we've also got today's date, which is also already pre-populated. As you know, with the one-on-ones, the first place you want to start is with the big picture question. So what's really neat about this tool is that the big picture question, you can either come up with your own or you can choose one. And I highlight this because this is often where sales managers struggle is, I don't know what big picture question I could ask. I need ideas. I run out of ideas. And this gives you an ability to choose from a very long list of big picture questions that you could be asking your salesperson. Alternatively, you might choose to select your own. How stressed are you in your role? Might be a question you might type in. When you type in your own question, what's really neat is that you get to type in your scale as well. So my scale could be not stressed at all, and my 10 could be highly stressed. Oops. What you'll notice now is look to the right-hand side of the page. The question that you have asked has now been pre-populated onto your template. So a reminder, the big picture question, you can either pick from the many that are on offer, or you can choose your own. The other thing I'll just add is if I pick one, you'll see that there's a series of other questions that come up that will help you do a deeper dive on that big picture section. Recall, for those of you who are familiar with a one-on-one, we encourage sales managers to spend some time here in the big picture question. Ask that big picture question, give a scale from 1 to 10, and then spend some time digging into that question and uncovering how that salesperson is feeling. These pre-populated questions can help you to do that. So for every question, big picture question that you select, you've got some follow-up questions that show up to help you. So again, a great resource to help you lead great one-on-ones. As we move down into the one-on-one, you're familiar, some of you, with green flags and red flags. So same principle applies. You can either type in your own green flag, or you can select from one of the many, many drop-down options that have already been pre-populated in terms of what that salesperson is doing really well. So this salesperson is doing some amazing strategic thinking, thinks ahead for every client meeting. And you'll see that that green flag shows up on my template. For my second green flag, I'm going to pick my own great attitude. And I can add some notes if I need to. So either you can pick from a drop-down, or you can add your own. Same thing goes for the red flags. And so you start to build your one-on-one template. If I move down, I've finished my big picture question. I've been thinking about some green flags, some areas that I think Erin is doing really well. I've also been looking at some red flags, some areas where Erin needs to focus in the months ahead. I can pick my own, or I can pick from the drop-down. Same thing goes as I move into the results and activity around Erin's funnel, his sales funnel. So again, I can either pick one from the list, or I can add my own. And these get pre-populated onto the right-hand side. So let's say I have started to prepare Erin's one-on-one, and I haven't finished because I've been interrupted. So what I want to do is I want to save and return to Erin's file because I'm not quite done yet. So I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to be asked, is this done? Is it completed, or am I still trying to prepare it? Well, I'm still trying to prepare it, so I will click Prepared. And you'll see that that prepared one-on-one form is now showing up in this area of his file. I'm now back at my desk. I'm ready to finish this off. I want to click back into it. It brings me right back to the page that I've been working on all along. I want to add one more element that I want to chat to him about as I look at his results and activities, which is the amount of new deals he's been bringing in. And now I am ready. I have a completed form, and I'm ready to save it as completed. Now, a couple of things before I leave this page that I think are really neat. I could clear it, start again, but where I'd love to draw your attention is that where I've come to now is I have a prepared one-on-one form using the support sheet, and my template is complete, ready to engage Erin in that great 30 to 60-minute one-on-one conversation. So I'm ready to print, and when I print, I will get both sheets that show up. I'll have the support sheet, which is for me, that may have some of those follow-up questions and notes, and I'll also have the template that I will use to guide my discussion and dialogue with Erin. For those of you who really absolutely want to do this electronically, and I say that carefully because, as you know, Fusion's perspective is the one-on-one template is a template for a dialogue and should not be the focus of the discussion. But I also recognize that some of you really like to do this electronically. What we've built into this system is the ability to type notes right into the one-on-one template, whether that's in terms of the big picture, whether that's in terms of what Erin has said in terms of his green flags or his red flags. And as I go through that dialogue, able to capture at the bottom some of the areas where I need to help, some of the areas where Erin is committed in terms of the month ahead. And what I've done now is I've given our clients the ability to create the one-on-one electronically. I'm done. I've had that dialogue. I've either used it electronically or I've printed it out and used it as a template for a dialogue. I'm ready to save and return to Erin's file. It is completed. I feel great. We've had the dialogue, or it is a completed template that I'm going to use and print now for the dialogue, and I click Completed. Would you like to delete the preparation file? Yep, I don't need it anymore. And I have now a finalized, completed one-on-one for Erin that was conducted on February 20th. This is a short overview and summary of the performance support tool that's been created for one-on-ones. One Once again, just a couple of highlights that I want to talk about. Each of your salespeople will have their own file. Within each of those files, you have the opportunity to create one-on-ones or upload past one-on-ones so that you build a file of one-on-ones over this month, last month, the month before. You can house as many one-on-ones as you'd like in this section. Same thing goes for supporting documents. You can access anywhere on your computer to be able to house and upload supporting documents that can help you. When you go back to create your next one-on-one for Aaron, you might want to have a quick glance at what you said in your last one-on-one so you have the access to go back to past one-on-ones. And as I mentioned before, you've got a great toolbox to give you lots of reference material to help you lead those great one-on-ones. Easy access button to create your next one-on-one or return back to the employee list, which has all of your employees that we plugged in at the beginning of this conference. So what I'd like to do now is I'm just going to outline a few key elements of this performance support tool, and I'm going to take any questions that you might have before I close our webinar up. So just to summarize some of the benefits of this one-on-one performance support tool, this tool will save you time because it makes it easy with a drop-down menu and lots of choices to come up with the right questions and give you ideas for green flags, red flags, which in turn improves your effectiveness. We are maintaining a consistent process, clear agenda, and we're maintaining the template that we use in the classroom, but in the electronic format. In this tool, there are dozens of ideas, tips, resources to ensure that you can lead great one-on-ones, but also, as we've seen, a library of green flags, red flags, funnel questions, big picture questions to make it easy. Fourth, great online filing system so that you have a file for each of your direct reports. And most importantly, easy to navigate menu of drop-down options to give you choices, and so that that sales manager never has to scratch their head wondering, what big picture question do I come up with this month? So thank you very much for listening, and thank you for taking this tour with me. I'd be happy to answer any questions that come up. There's a couple that I have been asked, so let me just walk you through some of these as I have just about 5 minutes left on the call. One of the questions that I have gotten is, can my manager have access to my database to see how many one-on-ones I've done? That's a great question. And the answer I'm going to give is yes and no. If you would like your manager to see how many one-on-ones you've been doing or look into one-on-ones, you can absolutely house this, this Excel spreadsheet in a place where your manager can oversee or can see or can check in. So for senior managers, this is a great opportunity to be able to inspect what you expect in your managers and leading one-on-ones to make sure that they are happening and be able to explore some of the conversations that you've had. Or if you prefer not to have that access, you can house it in a place on your computer where no one has access. So I would say the answer to that question, do other people have access to the database? Yes, if you wish. No, if you don't. Another question that I am getting is, will our sales managers have any issues implementing this tool on our system? It's a great question. We have built this system on purpose on Excel. So Excel is, one of the reasons we chose Excel is because it is easily accessible. There are the more recent versions of Excel that run more smoothly. There is workarounds for older versions of Excel to make sure that you have access to this online filing system and the one-on-one template. So the answer to that question is, I don't think there should be any problems implementing Excel onto your computer. And there's another question. Does Fusion offer any training support to relaunch one-on-ones with the PST as the new tool? So I think that question means how, for those of you who have actually experienced one-on-ones in the classroom, how can Fusion help support implementing the PST as part of the one-on-ones in a reinforcement? So yes, We have been asked that recently for those who have purchased the PST, the one-on-one PST. There is an offer in creating a reinforcement module around one-on-one. So both the dialogue piece and using our skills to engage salespeople in a great one-on-one conversation, and included in that, in this deeper dive into one-on-ones or this reinforcement, is introducing this tool and embedding this tool as part of that classroom reinforcement. I'm looking at some of the other questions, sorry, as I go through. There is a question, interesting question around annual updates. So not too long ago, we created, we also gave you a tour of the sales team meeting PST, which was our first PST that was created. This is our second PST. Will there be updates? As of yet, we have created this particular performance support tool with a significantly higher amount of options, data, resources, ideas. So this gives a much longer longevity in terms of some of the drop-down menus. If we do updates, we would of course update any users who've purchased the rights to use the PST with any updates or changes as they would become available. But as I said, this one we really built with a very, very vast library. I'm just looking at our time. I'm going to wrap this up. I know that there are many questions, and there continues to have lots of questions coming in about customization, about pricing, and that's why I have a fantastic team of salespeople who are absolutely delighted to take your calls. They will be reaching out to you to follow up on this webinar, to engage you in your input on how useful it was, but most importantly, how useful you feel this one-on-one performance support tool could be for your organization to help your managers prepare and lead world-class one-on-ones. My ask is but one, which is when they make that call, please could you take it? Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your interest. Looking forward to talking to you more about the one-on-one performance support tool. Have a great day.